Rocket Orcust, Adagnister, Dinosaurs, all sorts of interesting decks that can still be adapted out of last format into the current one. I'm back if 30% of you guys have not smashed the living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so we can climb up the 100k ladder. First list we're going to be looking at here is Dreadmaster Yu-Gi-Oh's third place Rocket Dragon Link / Orcust pile of cards. It's actually performed well out of the locals recently here. We'll have some regional list here in a second, but I just want to show this because this was like a very interesting concept to me that has been functioning here. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. We have one Chaos Valkyria, 2 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, triple copies of Grisu, the Orcust Mech Knight, 1 Magician Souls, 1 Brass Bombard, 1 Symbol Skeleton, 2 Orcust Nightmare, 1 Rocket Caliber with 1 Rocket Recharger, 2 copies of Rocket Tracer, 1 Griffon Rider, 2 Ripple copies of Water Enchantress, 1 World Wand with 1 Illusion of Chaos, 1 Boot Sector, 1 Called by the Grave, 1 Draco Back, 1 Faithful Adventure, 1 Foolish Barrel with the 1 Babble, and then we have 1 Orchestrated Return, triple copies of Quick Launch, triple copies of Rite of Armesier, 2 copies of Infinite Permanence, and 1 Crescendo. Down here in the extract, we have 1 Striker Dragon, 1 Lungrisu, 1 Link Kribo, 1 Nightmare Unicorn with 1 IP. We have triple copies of Galtea, 1 D-Hark, 1 Boral Sword with 1 Boral End. And then we have 2 Dingrisus, 1 Chaos Ruler, and 1 Borreload Savage Dragon. Side deck here we have triple Droll and Lockbird, triple Forbidden Droplet, triple copies of Twin Twisters, triple copies of Dimensional Bear, and triple copies of Evenly Matched here, wrapping up this list. Honestly, I think the biggest things with this list is the fact that you have a slight confliction here with like Orcust and like the Brave package, but that shouldn't be much of a problem, alright? Like, just the unique fact that you have so many bits and moving pieces in this list that it just creates a very unique experience for this deck that actually works out. Next up here is Madison Martin's 15th place. I don't remember which regional this was, but this deck was able to perform and do well, and here you still see the salvaged Rose package in this deck still doing its job. You know, you don't even need to play Auroradon in here to do things, alright? So, you still get full dinosaur combo post-list. Nothing has changed with this. This deck is still 100% viable on the shift here on the change for the new list, which is absolutely amazing. So we have triple copies of Animadored Archosaur, triple copies of Baby Sarasaurus, 1 Pankratops, 1 Giant Rex, 1 Miscellaneous Sarasaurus, 2 Pterodon, 1 Red Rose Dragon, 1 Rox Rose Dragon with 1 Scrap Chimera. We have 1 Scrap Golem. We have triple copies of Scrap Raptor, triple copies of Oviraptor, 1 copy of True King Listogasm, 1 Ultimate Conductor, 1 Basil Roseshoot, 2 copies of Double Evolution Pill, 1 Diagram, 1 Foolish Barrel, triple copies of Fossil Dig, triple copies of Lost World, the 1/1-for-1, triple Prosperity, 1 Set Rotation, and 1 Terraforming. Then in the extract, we have 1 Secure Gardena, 1 Scrap Wyvern, 1 Saruja with 1 Pentastag, 1 Linkaribo, 1 Geonator Transverser, 1 Hauki Vibrex, 1 Grave Dragon, 1 copy of Rare Metal, 1 Dugaris with 1 Dolka, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Prima Donna with 1 Black Rose, and 1 Beals here. I do not have the side deck because they didn't want to share it. So that wraps up our dinosaur list, 15th place out of its regional. And like I said, getting 15th place still secures you an invite and still gives you the chance to do relatively well here. So for the most part, not too bad of a list. And for dinosaur players out there that are performing and doing well with this, I hope that this gives you another interesting take to kind of see what you can do here. Next up is a top 8 from a regional. This is, I know that Verti Anaconda is in this list, but obviously scrap that. Alright, you don't need to worry about this. This was World Legacy Scars, the deck. And you can banish 8 Magnite monsters with different names from your graveyard and or face up on the field. Send your opponent's entire hand and extra deck to the graveyard. Now, I'm not exactly sure the crazy level of application and things that you can pull off with this deck, but the fact that the Scars FTK was able to functionally climb up and perform at an event, it is definitely worth looking at here, because I think this deck is insane. So we have 1 copy of Celestial with 1 Dasher. We have 1 Godarla, triple copies of Garisu, triple copies of Blue Sky, 1 copy of Green Horizon with 1 Indigo Eclipse, triple Purple Nightfall with 1 Red Moon, 1 Yellow Star, with 1 World Armor, the 1 World Chalice, and 1 Avaram. We have 1 Called by the Grave, the triple Dark Willow No More, 2 Fusion Destiny with 1 Feather Duster, triple copies of Lightning Storm with triple Mystic Mine, triple copies of Pot of Prosperity, 1 Terraforming with 1 World Legacy Key. We have 1 World Legacy Scars, 1 World Legacy Succession, triple World Legacy Memory, the 1 copy of Whispers, and the triple copies of Secret. Down here in the extra deck, we have 1 Secure Garden, 1 Almirage, 1 Blank Spot, 1 Supreme, 2 copies of Morningstar, 1 Avermax, 1 Link Spider, triple copies of Blade Master, 1 Galtea, 1 Zeus, 1 Dingrisu, and 1 Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. Then we have 1 Lancia, 1 Scythe, 2 Ibly, 2 Space Rocks, triple Sanctum, triple D-Bear, 1 Metaverse, and 2 copies of Summon Limit here, wrapping up the World Legacy Scar FTK for everybody. You can thank this beautiful, beautiful card for existing, for some of the most interesting shenanigans that you can pull off. Next up here is, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we do have an Adding Nister list. This did top the Iowa Regional here, and about darn time that we got the chance to see Adding Nister perform. Gosh darn it. It only took Heat Soul finally being legal for this deck to finally get off the ground. So we have triple copies of Achichichi, triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 1 copy of Barururu, 1 Don Marty, 1 Doyon, 1 Effect Veiler. We have 2 copies of Ghost Ball in the Haunted Mansion, 1 Hayari, 2 copies of Space Rock, triple copies of Picardi, 1 Eye Contact. We have triple copies of Imichu, 1 Idol Reborn, 1 Called by the Grave, triple Crossout Designator, triple copies of Signet Mining, the 1 Fighting Spirit, 1 Ignister Island, 1 Mystic Mine, 1 Terraforming, triple Talents, and 2 copies of Infinite Permanence. Down in the X deck, we have 1 Update Jammer, 2 copies of Transcode Talker, 1 The Arrival, 2 copies of Splash Mage, 1 Lingeribo, 1 Decode Talker Heat Soul, 1 Dark Templar, 2 copies of Dark Infant, 1 Wit Kid, 1 Axis Machine, 1 Light Dragon, and 1 Wind Pegasus. Side deck here we have 2 DD Crows, triple Cosmic Cyclone, triple Lightning Storm, triple Evenly Matched, 1 Red Reboot, and triple copies of Rivalry of the Warlords here, wrapping up our Adding Nister list. Now, how consistent is this? Obviously, this deck's entire game plan is going to depend on what hand traps are currently present. You know, can we recover after a key Ash Blossom? You know, a key Effect Veiler? You know, a key Imperm? If the answer is yes, then you should have a very consistent way to top cut. If not, you're going to really struggle. I think it's one of the big things that I hate about this deck is its lack of, like, potential recovery after certain choke points. All right, and the last list we have here was, yes, Eldritch. Who doesn't love the fact that Eldritch still gets off scot-free, nothing really changes, the deck just picks up its pieces and goes, today I'm going to evolve for the next chunk here. So we have 2 copies of the Golden Lord, 2 copies of Lord of the Heavenly Sky Prison, triple copies of Cursed Eldlam, 1 White Destiny with triple Pot of Extravagance, triple copies of Conquistador, triple copies of Punishment, triple copies of Scarlet Sanguine, 1 Golden Land Forever, triple Goes in Match with triple Hugwarrow, 2 copies of Ice Dragon's Prison, triple Rivalry of Warlords, triple Skill Drain, triple copies of Solemn Reich, and triple copies of Torrential Tribute here. Down here in the extra deck, we have 1 Leno, 1 Link Spider, 1 Nightmare Unicorn with 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Blackluster Soldier, the Soldier of Chaos, 1 Access Code, 1 Juggernaut Libby with 2 Gustavs, 1 Zeus with 1 Pallades. We have 1 Pegasus, 1 Omega, and 2 copies of Anintes. Side deck here we have triple Inspector Border, triple copies of Lava Golem, triple copies of the Big Ball, triple copies of Dimensional Bear, and triple copies of Solemn Judgment here. Wrapping up this chunk of interesting deck profiles for you guys. A lot of stuff you can still salvage here out of the last list. A lot of things that going forward here might have slight changes and things, but I do hope that these lists will give you an idea of what you want to mess around with here in the near future, as they should. So guys, please leave a comment about too much. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.